Most of you guys are asking me to do a video about ad fatigue, and that's the most important thing to know if you are running ads constantly. Okay, so this video is for you guys. I just coined it 72 hours creative cycle that keeps B2B ads profitable. Okay, so here is a number most B2B SaaS founders don't know. The average paid ad campaign in B2B SaaS plateaus dies within 6 to 8 weeks of the launch. Not because targeting is broke or not because the platform changed the algorithm, because the creative got stale and nobody replaced it fast enough. Okay, so the creative fatigue is the single most important common reasons a B2B SaaS ad campaign that start with a strong solid CPL and qualified demos and sales team happily slowly deteriorates into a burning budget with nothing to show for it. Okay, so the solution is not the more budgets, it's a faster test cycle. Okay, so you need to iterate within 3 days, trickling in. Okay, so by the end of this video, you will know exactly what the 72 hours creative iteration cycle is and why it's the highest leverage things you can do to keep CAC stable as you scale, and what is actually looks like to build one inside a real B2B SaaS account. Okay, so here is the most important B2B SaaS founders experience with paid ads. Most months when you launch, you have got a handful of creatives, maybe 2 or 3 variations. The campaign performs, CPL looks reasonable, demos are coming. You tell your sales team things are working. Months to performance starts softening and CPL creeps up, and you are not sure if it's seasonal or if it's algorithm shift or if something broken. Okay, so most of ad agencies just face these things nowadays. So one of my clients just told me that we need to start doing from 20 to 40 creatives a week. Okay, that's the industry standards currently, and that's profitable ad campaign we have ever done. Okay, so you add a budget thinking more spend will push through the plateau. It doesn't. Okay, so monthly the campaign is visible, dying CPL has doubled from launch, demo volume is falling, and your agency says they need to refresh the creatives. The process takes 3 weeks. By the time new creative launch, you have burned another 80K at flattened CPL while the pipeline drop. Okay, so here is what makes it worse. You have probably been through this cycle more than once. The refresh works briefly, performance recovers, and then same decay happens again. Okay, every time you are in the throes, you are losing pipeline, while a competitor who has a faster creative cycle keeps building. Okay, so you can see the problem in real time. Ad frequency climbing, engagement dropping, the same faces seeing the same ads too many times. You know the creative is still, but the process for fixing it is slow, and you are usually already 2 weeks deep into the damage before the replacement is even briefed. Okay, here is what this is actually costing you beyond the elevated CPL during the dead zone. For B2B SaaS companies with a 60 to 90 day sales cycle, the 3 week creative drought in Q1 is a pipeline gap you feel in Q2. Have you got me? So that's the point. The demos you didn't generate in February are the closed deals that don't show up in April. And this is how slow creative cycle quietly compound into missed quarters. And I know what this looks like when the founder best performing campaign dies in slow motion because creative production couldn't keep pace with creative fatigue. So basically, creative fatigue is the number of testing iteration of the business. Okay, here is the better architecture, and almost no one in B2B SaaS is running it. Here is what I need you to understand. And this probably goes against how every agency you have worked with has structured their creative process. Creative is not a quarterly project. Creative is a daily competition advantage. The companies winning with paid ads at scale right now are not winning because they found one perfect ads and ran it forever. Okay, so they're winning because they are iterating faster than ever other players in their market. They are generating more signal per dollar, adapting faster to what their ICP actually respond to, and cutting losing creative angles before they have the chance to inflate in CPOs. Okay, most agencies operate on monthly creative cycle, build a batch, submit for proposals, launch review the data in a monthly report, decide what to produce next. Okay, that's a 30 to 45 days feedback loop. In this space where creative fatigue can begin inside 2 weeks. That's not the competitive cycle. That's a slow. This distinguished as a process. Or the 72 hours iteration cycles compresses that feedback loops by 10 to 15 times. New hypothesis, launch, measure, kill, or scale. Okay, so every 3 days. This is not about making more ads for volume, and it's about building a learning machine that compounds every time. The more tests you run, the more you understand your ICPs before, language, field triggers, and decision drivers at level of precision. No computers running monthly creative cycle can match, and that intelligence is what makes every subsequent creative iteration better than the last. Okay, so that's exactly what I want to show you today. Okay, 72 hours creative cycle has 3 specific components. Here are exactly how it works inside real B2B SaaS account. The component 1 is creative volume at launch. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, you can't run a 72 hours iteration cycle if you start with 3 ads, because it doesn't work like that. The testing infrastructure requires meaningful action across 4 testing dimensions simultaneously. Roha just currently, our agency builds the plus unique ad variation at the start of every client's engagement, and by unique I mean fundamentally different along these 4 dimensions. For example, the first one is hook variation. That's the most important thing, which is the second one is narrative angles. The third one is CTA framing, and the last one is visual sequencing. Okay, so talking head, screen recording, custom testimonial, documentary style, each have its own the thing. Within 30 plus variation across these 4 dimensions, you have enough creative infrastructure to run generally 72 hours test cycle for months without exhausting your library. Okay, so component 2 is 72 hours test and kill protocol, and every ad variant gets a defined testing budget and 72 hours window. Okay, so at the mark, Roha Media Buyer structured review across 4 metrics: CPL movement, hook, completion rate, and click to lead conversion rate, and demo show quality as reported by the sales team. Okay, so the winner scale budget and marginal performer extend to test 72 hours with 1 specific modification. Okay, so this protocol prevents 2 things simultaneously: budget bleeding on dying creatives, that the single most common source of CPL inflation in B2B SaaS account, analyze paralysis, and the tendency to keep underperforming creative running because nobody has the data to make a confident kill decision. Okay, so component 3 is the creative intelligence loop. Okay, so now here is where it gets interesting, and this is the part most agencies skip entirely. Every test result, winners and losers, is documented and fed directly into the brief for the next creative batch. And the specific language from your highest performing hooks get iterated on the narratives angle at field. Tell you something equally valuable about what your ICP doesn't respond to, and both are intelligence. Okay, so Over 60 to 90 days, this look produces something most agencies cannot give you. A documented data-backed creative playbook specific to your product, your ICP, and your market. You don't end the engagement with ads that work, and you end it understanding exactly why they work and what to produce next. Okay, so those are the most important things to run with, especially in this area. Great. Okay, for example, I just see list kit went from 1.2 to non-recurring revenue in 12 months in 2023. Okay, so not on the back of that great ads, on the back of the systems iterate continuously, identify the creative angles that resonate most with ICP and scale the budget behind winners faster than any monthly cycle competitors could respond to. Okay, so Fazils has talked publicly about the volume of creative testing and that power that grows, and the number of variant and the speed of iteration and the compounding effect of having a creative library that stays ahead of the fatigue. Okay, so that's the model that Roha operationalized for B2B SaaS. Think about what that means at 15K and 20K per month ad spend level. As that budget, creative fatigue doesn't hit in 6 weeks. It hits in 10 to 14 days. Okay, because frequency climbs faster than you think. Okay, so the only way to keep CPL stabilized, the production of testing include infrastructure that can keep pace, and most agencies cannot do this. Most internal teams cannot do this. And most agencies cannot do this. Most internal teams cannot do this as well. The second proof point is one of the client in B2B SaaS complaint space. They come to us while scaling from 5K to 20K per month in spend over a 90 days period. Companies that attempt to forex the ad budget without a creative iteration system behind it, typically white CPLs climbing from 60 to I think 90% as frequency spikes, which erodes the entire ROI case for increasing budget in first place. Okay, this client scale from 5K to 22K per month, while CPL stays within 12% of their launch day benchmark because the creative library was generating 8 to 10 fresh test variants every 72 hours, and winning absorb the increased budget. Losers got cut before they inflated this CPL. Okay, that's all. I know that some of you are thinking right now, we don't have the budget to produce 30K ad variation and something like that. Creative production is expensive. Here is the real maths. You are spending saying 10K per month on ads. Creative fatigue sets at a week 6. Your CPL doubles for 2 or 3 weeks while new creative gets slowly produced, and that's 5K to 7K burned at double CPL every single quarter just from slow creative cycles at the pipeline you didn't generate during the 3 weeks. Drought the true cost of running a slow creative process and higher cost of building more creatives upfront. And here is the other pieces of Roha builds the full creative library scripted, produced, ready to launch as part of the build out. And it's not an ongoing production invoices every month, it's infrastructure. And because client owns everything, every creative asset, every script, every tested angle, if you ever brings this in-house, your team inherits a working system with documented playbook. Nothing disappears. Okay, so that's exactly why the first step is a free strategy call. We run a diagnosis together, no commitment, just the answer. If you want to get this one, I just put somewhere my link in this description, so you can just check it out, my page and also my Upwork link. So you can invite me for strategy call. It's no commitment, it's just for answer and to answer your questions, whether I can help you or not. Okay, so if you like this video, I'll appreciate. If you love also, I'll appreciate. So subscribe this channel. Thank you. Peace out.